In news from Jamaica, could there be division brewing inside the opposition People's National Party in the aftermath of its defeat in the February 25 general elections? The prospect presented itself when a no-confidence motion was brought against the General Secretary of the party, Paul Burke, during the PNP's National Executive Council NEC meeting on Sunday. The motion was raised by former Youth Minister and Member of Parliament for South East St. Anne, Hanna, who brought into question Mr. Burke's role in the party's loss at the polls. In his defense, Mr. Burke noted that all the party leaders should share blame for the loss, a point which is shared by Deputy General Secretary of the PNP, Julian Robinson.
Responsibilities that he alone didn't take. There are decisions that were taken by a campaign committee and the leadership of the party. So to some extent, he is correct in the sense that he wasn't the only person out there making all the decisions that affected the party. As a member of the Secretariat, our responsibility is to ensure that the constitution of the party is followed, and somebody has tabled a motion. There's a 1-month period for that motion to be tabled before it can be debated. And in the debate, you'll hear the arguments both to and fro.
Mr. Robinson also responded to Paul Burke's call for an evaluation into the role Hanna had in the party not getting youth votes.
We are doing an assessment right now as part of the appraisal committee, and we are looking at all the factors that may have contributed positively or negatively to the election results. So I don't know that you're necessarily going to have a specific investigation related to the former minister, but certainly anecdotally there's a feeling that we did not get the youth vote, and so we have to examine reasons that may have contributed to that. But I would say we don't have any empirical data, and the only organization that could provide that is the EOJ as to the demographic breakdown of the voting population. So we are at this point operating on anecdotal and not empirical data.
Meanwhile, at least one party member, former Security Minister and Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Peter Bunting, has signalled his interest in being president of the party, and some political pundits are of the view that former Finance Minister and two-time challenger of Mrs. Simpson Miller for the post, Dr. Peter Phillips, may believe that the third time will be his charm, and so speculation has resurfaced as to whether the comrades may think it's time for a change in leadership since party president and former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller now has 2 electoral losses under her belt. But the PNP president swept those assumptions aside at a press conference on Monday when she told journalists, quote, "I am not the only political leader in Jamaica who has lost an election, and I didn't hear a call for others to step aside. So I don't know why there is a call now for me to step aside. Is it because I am of a different gender?" End quote. So could this signal a change in the party's president when it hosts its annual general meeting later this year?
Have a right to put themselves forward for positions, and if they do, then as the Secretariat will prepare itself for a contest if people do. The Secretariat's responsibility is to ensure if there is an election that it is run smoothly.